What's good, people? Hope everybody had a great weekend and is getting ready for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and whatnot. But without further ado, I'm going to talk about boxing today. It was a big fight this past weekend. I believe early Saturday morning between Naoya Inoue and Alan David Picasso. And we also had Junto Nakatani on the undercard as well as the co-main event. And look, that was actually a great performance by Inoue. For those who don't know who Inoue is, he is the undisputed champion. I think at super bantamweight. Yeah, super bantamweight. Undisputed champion, made his sixth successful title defense, and this is his fourth fight this year. And he defeated Picasso in dominant fashion. And let me tell you, man, Alan David Picasso, very good fighter. Number one contender at super bantamweight. He couldn't do nothing with Inoue. And if you don't know who Naoya Inoue is, go ahead, go on Google, go on YouTube, go on social media, whatever you got to do. Look this dude up because he's one of the best overall fighters that I've ever seen. You go through any decade, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. 2000s, whatever boxer you want to think of, this guy is your favorite boxer's favorite boxer. So much to the point that Usyk came into the ring after the fight to shake his hand. Another guy on the pound for pound list at the top. You know, guys like Terrence Crawford and Alexander Usyk, they recognize guys like Inoue, man, because real recognize real. Shout out Jules, man. I appreciate you being in the chat, man, and tuning into the episode. But I'm talking about boxing, and if you don't know who this dude is, check him out. Naoya Inoue. He went in there, and it's not just the foot movement, it's not just the offense, it's the IQ. He's like a mastermind when he's moving around in that ring. It just seems like he's 5 steps ahead of everybody he's fighting. And he's just having fun in there at a certain point. And Tim Bradley put out a video, and he was kind of talking about this, man. Like, guys like Inoue, guys like Terrence Crawford, you put them in the ring, and it seems like they're competing with themselves. It's hard to find people that are able to really, like, push them, like, give them a tough test. I would say that Madrimov was that guy for Crawford, even though he's not a household name. He made Crawford have to work for that win. Even though I thought Crawford clearly won the fight, he had to work for that win. And with Inoue, it was Nonito Donaire, the first fight. Yeah, he won the fight, but he had to work for it. He got busted up in the fight. By the end of the fight, when they shook hands, he had a busted nose. He had to work for that. Even though he came back and he won in dominant fashion in the rematch. That first fight, you know, that was the one time I really seen him get pushed. And even in the fights where he's got knocked down, like I think he got knocked down in the Neri fight, but I've never seen somebody get knocked down and feel like they're in control more than when I've watched an Inoue fight. Like he'll get clipped, and then there's no ego. He'll just sit there, take his sweet old time getting back to his feet, and then get up and proceed to whooping your ass over the however long the fight lasts after that. Like, he's one of them dudes. So this is a great win. I know going into this fight, him and his father, they talked a lot about how he's getting up in age and they want to make sure that he stays safe as he starts to consider winding down his career, because he's 32 now, and in their, I don't know, it's not like 24/7. I guess it's Top Rank or DAZN, whoever was promoting this fight, Ring Magazine actually, doing their documentary leading up to the fight and talking to these two guys behind the scenes. You can just see that what I respect about Team Inoue is they can point out something they see as an objective reality. Like, we're getting older. You know, sometimes you can lose that edge, this, that, and the third, and still be objective enough to say, yeah, we're heading towards the end. We're not trying to act like we're Superman, but we have some good fights left in us, and we still feel like we're the best in the division by far. And they just go out and show and prove every time. We think that the time's winding down, but we're still focused on the task at hand. We think we have a couple fights left, and we're going to do this. And they go out, and that team is dominant. Father and son team, man. Inoue, Team Inoue, bravo. And Alan Picasso, look, hats off to him, because he took a chance, undefeated prospect, a lot of confidence, just didn't quite have the level of expertise needed to beat an Inoue at this point. But I'm going to be watching out for his fights. You know, take your time off, rest, relax, bounce back, and now he got a bright future ahead of him. He's a young dude, and he's still hungry, and he's got the skills. So just take this as a learning experience, and then move forward, and eventually you're gonna get your shot and get its world title, I think. So, you know, great job by Team Inoue. And then on the undercard, the co-main event was Junto Nakatani and Sebastian Hernandez. So this event was called the Ring 6, I believe, Night of the Samurai. And you had pretty much the Hispanics against the Japanese in this matchup, in terms of what matchups they had on the undercard. Because you had Junto Nakatani versus Sebastian Hernandez, and Junto Nakatani is on a collision course with Naoya Inoue for a bout in March. This is already common knowledge, as promoted already by the Ring magazine and Turkey Al Sheikh and all those people over there. They are set to clash in spring of 2026, given that they get past these opponents that they just fought. Anyway, he passed the test flying colors. Junto Nakatani, though, won the fight, but controversial. And he had a tough go with Hernandez. Because Junto Nakatani, he has power in both hands. And he's a slick boxer. He got the goods. But this was a real test for him. And if you go look at the highlights, at the end of the fight, you can see where his right eye, this from your perspective watching me on the screen, his right eye was swollen shut, man. He made it through the end. He made it through the end, and you know, he'll be heading on to fight anyway, but that was a tough fight. He took a lot of punishment, and you saw some flaws, you saw some chinks in the armor, I would say, in that fight. And it's got to make you think, yeah, there was a lot of hype going into this fight, with Inoue wanting to see these guys finally face off, especially in an all Japan matchup. But now you have to think, Junto, there may be some things you got to clean up on your end before you step in the ring with Inoue, because Inoue is he's on the peak right now. He's still there. He hasn't fallen off yet. And if Junto jumps into the ring with Inoue right now with some of the flaws that I saw in this victory that he had over Hernandez, I don't know if he beats Inoue. I think he'll have a rough time with Inoue if he doesn't clean some things up defensively. So let me know what you think about Nakatani's win over Hernandez. Do you think he was gifted a decision? And do you think he's ready for Inoue? Because Inoue looked as sharp as he's ever been. It looked like, and I'm telling you, I told you in my lead up that I thought Picasso wouldn't win, but he wouldn't be an easy out either. He made it look easy. So is Nakatani really ready for Inoue? Let me know.